What if I told you the car in your driveway might be the most expensive mistake you'll ever defend? Not your house, not your degree, your car. And the worst part, you probably feel proud of it. Think about that feeling. That sense of arrival, that moment you first turned the key. You breathed in the new leather. You adjusted the mirrors. You felt accomplished. Now I'm going to take that feeling apart. Picture this. You're driving at night, music up. The dashboard glows like a cockpit. Street lights slide across the hood. It feels like freedom, success, progress. Your hand rests on the wheel. Your favorite song plays. For a few minutes, everything is perfect. But under that feeling, beneath the bassline and the engine hum, a quiet pressure. A number ticking in the back of your mind. $612 a month. $748. $1,024. Every red light, every mile, every trip to the grocery store. That number is there, breathing, waiting. And somehow, no matter how much you pay each month, you never actually own it. You just keep renting it from the bank. That's the contradiction no one talks about. The thing that feels like freedom is often the most sophisticated financial trap ever designed. And you walked into it smiling. Here's the trap. It doesn't start with bad decisions. It doesn't start with greed. It doesn't start with stupidity. It starts with something that sounds smart, responsible, adult. 5 words: lower your monthly payments. That's it. Those 5 words have quietly reshaped how millions of people buy cars. They've restructured household debt. They've delayed retirements. They've caused divorces. Lower monthly payments. Sounds like a favor, doesn't it? A lifeline. A way to make the car fit the budget. But here's what they don't tell you. When you lower the payment, you don't lower the price. You just stretch the time. 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 84 months of payments. 84. That's longer than most marriages last. Longer than the average job tenure. Longer than your kid's entire elementary school education. And you're paying for a machine the entire time. A machine that's rusting, deprecating, breaking. Because stretching time doesn't reduce cost, it multiplies it. Every extra year, tax on thousands in interest, hidden, invisible, buried in the fine print. And once you're in, getting out is harder than you think, almost impossible. Quick question. Pause what you're doing and answer this. If a car costs $40,000 on the sticker, how do people end up paying over $70,000 for it? How does $40,000 become $70,000? Where does that extra $30,000 come from? It doesn't come from the engine. It doesn't come from better tires. It doesn't come from a sunroof or heated seats. It comes from time. From stretching a loan so far that interest becomes a silent partner in your life. A silent partner that takes a bigger cut than you do. Let's break the illusion together. You walk into a dealership. The floor shines. The air smells like fresh coffee and tire rubber. A salesperson greets you with a smile that feels like friendship. But you're not walking into a store. You're walking into a laboratory. A psychological laboratory designed to bypass your rational brain and speak directly to your desires. Here's what happens next. You're not thinking about total cost. Nobody does. You're thinking one thing: can I afford the monthly payment? That's the game. They don't sell cars anymore. Not really. They sell payments. So instead of saying, "This car is $52,000, they say, "You can drive this home today for just $689 a month." And suddenly, it feels reasonable, achievable, even responsible. $689. You can do $689. Skip a few dinners out, cut a subscription, done. But here's what they don't emphasize, what they legally disclose but hope you never calculate. You're paying interest on a depreciating asset for nearly a decade. Let that sink in. Interest on something that loses value every single day. By the time you're done, you've paid tens of thousands more than the car is worth. And the car? It's worth a fraction of what you owe. You're underwater, financially drowning in a vehicle you once celebrated. The average car loan term today is longer than ever in recorded history. Let me say that again. Longer than ever. In the 1970s, the average car loan was 36 months. 3 years. Today, the average new car loan exceeds 68 months, nearly 6 years. And a third of all new car loans, 84 months, 7 years. 7 years for a depreciating asset that might not even last that long mechanically. And the number is still climbing. They're pushing for 96-month loans now, 8 years. Where does it end? When does a car loan become a mortgage? It already has. Now, here's where things get darker. Because most people don't even make it to the end of the loan. They don't. Life happens. You get restless. A new model comes out. Better tech, better look, better status. The 2024 version makes your 2022 version feel obsolete. The screen is bigger, the lines are sharper, the badge is shinier, and your neighbors, they just got one. So you go back to the dealership, just to look, just to see what they can do. And this is where the trapdoor opens beneath you. Because you still owe money on the old car. You haven't paid it off. You haven't built equity. You've been treading water for 3 years, paying mostly interest. So now you're trading in a car you don't own, with a loan you haven't finished, and a balance that exceeds the car's value. This is where the cycle begins. And once it starts, it doesn't stop. Let me show you exactly how it works. Let's say you owe $18,000 on your current car. But the dealer looks at it, kicks the tires, checks the auction values, and says, "We can give you $12,000. Not because they're cruel, because that's what it's worth. But you still owe $18,000. That $6,000 gap, that's called negative equity. Sometimes they call it being upside down. I call it a hole. And instead of telling you to go home and pay off the gap, the dealer says, "Don't worry, we can roll that into the new loan." They make it sound like a solution, a favor, a lifeline. But what they're really doing, they're taking your old mistake and welding it onto your new obligation. So now, your new $45,000 car, it's not $45,000 anymore. It's $51,000. Before you even drive off the lot. And the interest, it's calculated on that entire mountain. You're paying interest on a car you don't own anymore. You're paying interest on a ghost, a phantom vehicle that's sitting on some auction lot somewhere, being sold for parts, and you're still paying for it. Ask yourself, right now, how many people do you know who are paying for a car they don't even drive anymore? Think about your co-workers, your family, your friends. How many of them rolled old debt into a new loan and never mentioned it? How many of them are driving a $60,000 vehicle with $15,000 of someone else's mistake hidden in the paperwork? Probably more than you think. Maybe you're one of them. This is the financial hamster wheel. You keep moving, legs pumping, sweat dripping. You keep upgrading, every 3 years, every 4. But you're not actually getting ahead. You're stacking debt on top of depreciation. And somehow, it still feels like progress. Because every new car feels like a fresh start. That new car smell is a reset button for the brain. You sit in the driver's seat, adjust the mirrors, sync your phone. And for a moment, the past is erased. The old car? Gone. The old debt? hidden in the new contract. The old mistakes, buried under 84 fresh months of hope. But financially, it's not a reset. It's a continuation. The same chain, just with a new coat of paint. And every time you trade in early, that chain gets shorter. The equity never builds. The interest keeps compounding. The hole keeps getting deeper. And you keep running, faster, harder, until one day you can't stop. Because stopping would mean facing the total, facing the reality of what you've actually spent. And nobody wants to do that. Now here's the part that makes this cycle so powerful, so impossible to escape. This isn't just about money, it's about identity. Cars aren't marketed as transportation anymore. Nobody runs an ad that says, "This vehicle will reliably move you from point A to point B at a reasonable cost." No, they market something much deeper. Success, freedom, status, power, adventure, masculinity, elegance. You are what you drive. That message is everywhere. TV commercials show a man in a truck conquering a mountain. Never mind that he'll only drive it to an office park. Luxury sedan ads show a woman in evening wear gliding through a city at midnight. Never mind that she'll mostly sit in traffic. The message is clear. Your car is your identity. So when you buy a car, you're not just buying a vehicle. You're buying a version of yourself, the version you want to be, the version you want others to see. And that's worth paying extra for. At least, that's what they want you to believe. Here's a question that might hurt. If nobody could see your car, if nobody knew what you drove, if there were no badges, no logos, no status signals, would you still buy the same one? Would you still stretch the loan to 7 years? Would you still pay the premium for the German engineering or the American muscle? Or would you buy something simpler, something cheaper, something that actually serves your life instead of your ego? Sit with that question, because the answer tells you everything. And this is where the emotional contradiction digs its claws in. People say, "I need this car." But what they really mean is, "I need how this car makes me feel." And that feeling, confidence, validation, recognition, the nod from the neighbor, the glance from the stranger at the stoplight, the sense that you've arrived. That feeling is real. I'm not saying it isn't, but here's the trade-off no one advertises. To keep that feeling alive, to keep making those payments, to keep projecting that image, people start restructuring their entire lives. And I mean entirely. They make sacrifices that reach far beyond the garage. Sacrifices that touch every corner of their existence. They move into smaller apartments, reduced square footage, cramped kitchens, one less bedroom, not because they want to, because the car payment demands it. They delay vacations. Years pass without a real break. No beach, no mountains, just the same commute, the same office, the same grind. They cut back on experiences. Concerts? No. Weekend getaways? No. Dinner with friends? Too expensive. The car is eating their life, one experience at a time. They put gas on credit cards, swiping plastic to buy fuel, paying 22% interest on gasoline. Let that image sink in. They finance repairs. $2,500 for a transmission service. Put it on the card. Or pay it off over 3 years, just to keep up with a monthly payment for something that loses value every single day. That's not freedom. That's pressure with leather seats. That's anxiety with a sunroof. That's a trap with alloy wheels. Surprising example. I want you to hear this number clearly. Someone can spend over $130,000 on a vehicle over 7 years and end up with something worth less than $20,000. $130,000 in, $20,000 out. That's a $110,000 loss. Evaporated, gone. Not into an investment, not into a house, not into a retirement account, into a machine that carried them from home to work and back again. $110,000 for a commute. That's the reality of the long-term, rolled-over, interest-bloated car loan. And it happens every single day. And we haven't even touched the hidden costs yet. Because the loan is just the beginning. The loan is the visible iceberg. Underneath is a mountain of expenses that nobody calculates. Let's start with insurance. Modern cars are covered in sensors, cameras, radar units, LiDAR, automatic braking systems, lane departure warnings. They sound safe. But when a minor fender bender happens, it's not a $600 bumper repair anymore. It's $4,000 in sensor recalibration. And who pays for that risk? You do. Every month, in premiums. Higher tech means higher rates. And the bank requires full coverage. You can't even shop around for a cheaper plan. You're locked in. Then comes maintenance. And I'm not talking about oil changes. I'm talking about the engineering, designed to drain your wallet once the warranty expires. Direct injection engines, carbon buildup that chokes your valves. Continuously variable transmissions, internal belts that fail catastrophically at 80,000 miles, turbochargers, $2,500 when they go, and they will go. Modern complexity means modern repair bills. A headlight used to be a $20 bulb. Now, it's a $1,500 LED assembly that requires removing the front bumper. A key fob used to be a $3 metal key. Now, a $600 encrypted computer that needs dealership programming. And that check engine light, the little orange glow? That's the financial Grim Reaper. It doesn't take souls, it takes paychecks. And when you're already stretched thin by the payment and the insurance and the gas, one repair can break everything. Quick reality check. Pause. Right now. Add up your car payment. Add insurance. Add gas. Add the maintenance and repairs you've done in the last 12 months. What's the real monthly cost? Not the number you tell yourself. The real number. Is it $800? $1,200? $1,500? For most people, it's double what they claim. And that number? It's not going down. It's going up. Every year. Every model cycle. Every trip to the mechanic. This is why people feel stuck. Because when you zoom out, when you step back from the monthly statements and the loan documents and the maintenance receipts, you realize it's not just a car. It's a system. A perfectly designed extraction machine. One that quietly pulls money from your future and converts it into something temporary. Something that rusts. Something that breaks. Something that's worth less every single morning. But instead of questioning it, instead of stepping back and saying, "Wait, what am I doing?" people defend it. They defend the very thing that's consuming them. They say, "That's just how life is. Everyone has a car payment. You need a reliable car. I deserve something nice. I work hard." And some of that is true. Cars are necessary. Reliability matters. Hard work deserves reward. But there's a difference between using a car and being owned by one. There's a difference between a tool and a master. And when you start defending the debt, when you start justifying the interest, when you attack anyone who questions the system, you're showing symptoms of something deeper. Automotive Stockholm Syndrome. You've bonded with your captor. The thing that's taking 30% of your income, limiting your choices, delaying your retirement. You call it your baby. You wash it on weekends. You park it carefully. You defend its honor. But it doesn't love you back. It depreciates. It breaks. It demands. And you keep paying. So I'm going to ask you one question. And I want you to be honest. Not with me, with yourself. Are you driving your car? Or is your car driving your financial decisions? Is the car a servant to your life? Or have you become a servant to its payments? If the car disappeared tomorrow, would you be ruined or relieved? Your answer tells the truth. Here's the uncomfortable truth. This cycle works because it doesn't feel like a trap. It feels normal. Everyone's doing it. Everyone's upgrading. Everyone's financing. Every driveway on the block has a new SUV or a new truck. So it must be fine, right? This is just how adults live. But normal doesn't mean healthy. And common doesn't mean smart. 50 years ago, car loans were 3 years, and people kept cars for a decade. Now loans are 7 years, and people trade in after 3. Something has shifted. And it didn't shift in your favor. It shifted in theirs. The banks, the AdFact, the manufacturers, the dealerships, they built a machine that keeps you perpetually. Never quite owning. Never quite free. Always just one upgrade away from happiness. And the longer you stay in it, the harder it becomes to even see it clearly. Until one day, you look back and realize you didn't just buy a car. You bought years of your life at a premium. The system doesn't need you to fail. That's the genius of it. It just needs you to stay in the loop. Longer loans, bigger upgrades, rolled over debt, repeat, refinance, trade in, upgrade, never stock, never pause, never look at the total. And the longer you stay in it, the harder it becomes to see it clearly. Until one day, you look back and realize you didn't just buy a car. You bought years of your life at a premium. Years you could have spent traveling. Years you could have spent with family. Years you could have invested. Years of compound growth and financial security. All traded for a machine that's now worth a fraction of what you paid. And the scariest part? The part that should keep you up tonight. You might still feel like it was worth it. That's how deep the programming goes. That's how powerful the illusion is. And that's why they keep winning. Unless you wake up. Unless you see the trap for what it is. Unless you decide that freedom isn't a car. It's a choice. A choice you can make. Today. Right now. Before the next loan. Before the next trade-in. Before another $130,000 vanishes into thin air. The door is open. The wheel can stop. All you have to do is step off. If you want to learn more or see the other side of this content, you need to watch Nick Invests. This guy gives another insights of this content. You need to watch it.